Agenția Internațională a Integrității în Tenis nu consideră că a făcut vreo greșeală în abordarea cazului Simonei Halep, deși suspendarea decisă i-a distrus cariera. Într-un interviu exclusiv pentru Antena 3 CNN, șefa Agenției Internaționale a Integrității în Tenis susține că toate procedurile au fost respectate. Asta în condițiile în care cazuri similare cu al Simonei au fost rezolvate de agenție într-un mod total diferit și extrem de rapid.
I think we always keep all of our rules under review as any independent integrity agency should. I think in this case, as you referred to before, she had the ability to challenge a provisional suspension, so there is already that balance in place. But in her case, did not meet the criteria to do so. And then overall, the process is designed to make sure that players have every opportunity to put forward their case, to put forward their mitigation, and clearly to enable them to do that, these processes can take a significant period of time.
Everybody is asking now why, in the case of Iga Swiatek, which was suspended in September, and in October we know the suspension was lifted, why in Simona's case wasn't possible this thing like was happened at Iga, and also Jannik Sinner. We know he failed 2 drugs tests earlier this year, and he could play in a very short period of time.
So all 3 cases were very different, and each one turned on its individual facts. In the case of Iga Swiatek, she was able to identify quickly that there was a product that she had been taking that was contaminated, and we carried out appropriate checks with a WADA accredited laboratory who confirmed that contamination and that the contamination could have led to the positive test that she had, and therefore that meant she was able to lift her provisional suspension, and also meant that her case could be dealt with much quicker. In the case of Simona Halep, the fundamental challenge in relation to the positive test was that whilst after a period of time Simona's own expert was able to identify contamination in a product that she'd been taking, the WADA accredited labs were not able to find that contamination. And given that there was fundamental disagreement between the scientific experts, she was not able to get her provisional suspension lifted, and it was inevitable and right that the case was considered by the tribunal.
In your opinion, can Simona's case be seen as a case study for adjusting maybe ITIA's proceedings in order to avoid jeopardizing players' careers?
I'm really comfortable and confident that the process set down in the rules was followed in the case of Simona Halep, and that the player had every opportunity to put forward her case, both at the initial tribunal and then at the CAS tribunal. As I think you mentioned before, it was an incredibly complex case. It's incredibly rare that you have 2 charges against a player at the same time. So it was an incredibly unusual and unique case.
We know that an athlete is responsible for his action, but should the staff be held accountable?
I think the people around a player have a really important role in ensuring that players understand the obligations that they're under and that they take the right steps. Under the rules themselves, there are a range of different offences that could be committed by those people who surround an athlete and who are bound by our rules as they have accreditation to member events. Most of those relate more to when someone has done something intentional, but if circumstances arose where we felt that someone surrounding a player had breached those rules, then we would follow the process and we would take action against them under those rules.